Okay, hey, Ryan here. I have Andrew Robinson out of Columbus, Ohio, who is nice enough. He's going to share his approach to doing messenger ads with Facebook. Right, Andrew? I'm going to stop talking and let you talk all about this.
Absolutely. Messenger ads are something I think fairly new, and usually I've been sending traffic to a lead capture page and just squeezing information. But I just started testing the Messenger, and from what I understand, it's not available for everybody. But I'll just jump right in here to I clicked in to create a new campaign, which you can see. So what you're going to do is you're going to send people to a destination on or off Facebook. So I've already selected that. So I gave the name of that Messenger so I can go back and check that later. And one of the things I find about this is just like everything with targeting, the success of any campaign is related to how well you can target the client that you want to respond. So in this instance, as you can see, what I'm doing is I'm targeting a very specific geographic area all the way down to 2 miles within this zip within this address. This is the address of a golf community, and this is the clubhouse. So obviously what I'm going to be doing is targeting high net worth individuals that live near this, and in this instance I'm targeting people that are 55 and older, because what I'm trying to do is engage them in a conversation about downsizing and patio homes.
Great.
So,
can I ask a question before we continue? Because I never can remember how to do this. How do you put a specific address in there?
So let's just click right.
I always forget how to do it.
So you see where you can type in an address bar. I'm going to just type in my own address.
Oh, you can directly type an address.
So you can just type an address right in here into this address bar, and then you click. It's going to automatically default to a 10-mile circle for that particular address. So you just come in here, and I think in order to get relevant scores up, you probably want to tighten that down as tight as possible for your prospective buyer client. I know some people have very rural areas, so you're going to be in a much larger circle, but for me there's a lot of house density within 3 to 5 miles, so I'm going to typically make that smaller.
Okay.
And then you can actually drop in 2 points of reference, and if you're trying to pull, let's say you have 2 neighborhoods, they're both well, you know what, let's scrap that. I think it's better to just target two different ads. Two different ads.
I just want to know how to do that. I forgot how myself, and it was simpler. It's always simpler than you think. Yep.
Right. So then we're gonna tighten down to that geographic area. And next, as you recall, I said I was trying to do the baby boomer generation. So as you can see, I targeted 55 plus. I typically get both men and women, and I'll look at the statistics later. And then I wanted to exclude or include people. These houses that I'm selling or I'm targeting to sell start at $600,000. So on this ad, I'm gonna limit the prospect to people that have a financial net worth over $1 million. So I had to select over 2 million and over 1 million. Let's say if I want to make that, I'll just start typing net worth, and now it gives me the drop-down menu, and I can choose people. Let's say, for instance, here I'm going to broaden my search by I'm going to pick up the people with a net worth of 750 to 1 million. In this particular ad, I'm not going to do that. If you notice here, this population, when I include that, is 7,600. Now let me click them off of there, and now it's going to take a minute to repopulate. But my recollection is I'm going to drop down to about 6,500, so I'm going to filter my audience a little bit more specifically.
Okay.
And then when you're doing Messenger, I think it automatically defaults to where these are going to show up. So I don't think this is going to show up on Instagram, obviously.
Right.
Like in terms of your placement.
So the idea here is that I'll take a step back and explain to people. The goal here is to get people talking with you directly through Facebook's chat messenger feature.
Exactly, so that we can have a conversation instantaneously.
Gotcha.
You can keep your budget as low as $5. I like to start a little bit higher, $10 and $20, to get an instant gratification to see if the ad's working. Then I tweak it, and then if I want this campaign to run for 2 or 3 weeks, then I'll throttle it back to whatever my budget that I feel comfortable. Because I had multiple campaigns running, I may put 5 on this campaign, 5 on another. But I like to start with a little bit more money just so I get within the first 24 to 48 hours a read on how the ads are going to do. And then your object here is click on the link, and the name of my ad set, I'm choosing the ad that's related to that country club.
Right.
So now as I go to the next screen, I already went and chose a single image. I've got images in my computer that may or may not be relevant to this particular ad. So I've already uploaded. I'm going to add. You've covered this before, Ryan. Do you want me to cover how to add an image?
No, it's okay. We have basic. Yeah, it's okay. This is basic stuff. We can. I'm more curious about the how you get it to do the messenger thing, and then your results.
So here's my library of images I've used in the past. I like to do a lot of video, so if I was doing a video, this might be the image that I might choose, and you can see how it how it populates down there. And then I have 2 different images. For the sake of discussion, I'm actually going to remove that ad. So now I come down, and if you have multiple different accounts like I do, this happens to be downsizing advice on my Facebook page. If I want it to be related to a specific neighborhood, then it's going to change this data right up here. So I like the name of the ad to be related to where I'm promoting the property, and I never promote myself. I typically promote because I think if it's like Andrew Robinson Realtor, people are less likely to click on it. But if it's Amazing Dublin, Ohio Homes, they're more likely to click on it. And in this instance, because it's downsizingadvice.com, it really speaks to that target market. So I'm going to filter to that as my default. Where the messenger comes in is right here, Ryan. Typically, you're familiar with clicking and sending traffic to a website.
Right.
So instead of clicking there, if this is available to you, you're going to click Messenger. Let me copy that real quick. So here, if you notice, the messenger went away, and now I'd be sending traffic to a page. But when I click Messenger, and that was the notification that some placements are not available, which I know that. Now here's where the message text is. That's the auto reply. When someone sends you a message, it sends them an auto reply.
I didn't know you could do that right there. Wow.
So that's where you put that right there. So like in this instance, I'm talking about patio homes. So my reply is, because keep in mind, even though my phone is right with me, I may miss when someone starts the message. So I want an instantaneous reply to get something back from them. So I said, would you like to learn more about patio homes in Powell? And Powell is the community where this ad is running. So for instance, if you would like to know more about the open house this weekend, that could be the reply. Whatever you want, the instantaneous conversation starter, but it should be written in the form of a question.
Gotcha. That's a good tip. Yeah.
There are other JavaScript, like geeky guys like you could probably figure out how to do this, Ryan. So I think that you can program structured messages. That's above my pay grade.
Well,
you'll have to do.
I'll give you a shortcut right there. There's an app called chatfuel.com,
Okay.
which will let you build those bots automatically. It would happen outside of the ad, and it would happen automatically on your page. But one of the interesting things I saw about that is they're tied in with Zapier.
Okay.
So you can then start to shoot the contact info of the interaction over into your CRM.
See, that makes a lot of sense, but I probably am going to have to ask for a little bit of help on that one.
Yeah, I'm going to have to charge you a lot. It's really hairy. I shouldn't even have brought it up.
So the headline, and keep in mind, because you're using Messenger, you're going to probably be targeting people that are looking at this on a phone. Now, let me step back. As you recall, this particular ad is targeting people 55 and older. So my question is, how many of those clients are looking at Facebook on the phone? So I'm looking at what the ad looks like in my mobile news feed. Because that demographic may be more likely to be using desktop, I also look at what it looks like here, because if you notice, when you click over to mobile, some of this information goes away. So as I click over here to mobile, you notice that the bottom line is no longer there. So I just threw out a couple things. Here is thinking about downsizing, and then a little bit of bait is $5,000 to $1,250 buyer rebates available, and I leave that open-ended. You know, how do you qualify that? Click for details. So, I mean, that's a big enough clickbait that if someone is thinking about it, it's going to start the conversation. And then to create a little bit of fear of loss, I have only 6 lots left. So keep in mind, our goal is to get someone to click on that button and start the whole process. And if you don't get them to click on that button, you know, they're just a drive-by, and we don't want to drive-by. We want to click on the button.
Can you explain the different options for the button? You see where it says send message. Is that the only option, or?
Well, no. When I come in, by the way, I haven't tested the. I think because send message is that it's opening in Messenger. If you want to click learn more, you notice what happens. It changes the text on the button, and I'm not 100% certain, because I haven't tried that it's going to actually send me a message. So let's actually move that direction and see, because up until now I've only tested this with send message.
I think it does, but I could be wrong. Let's try it out.
But I think learn more. I think I prefer learn more than send message, because I think you're going to get a higher click through. If you open up the thing, you got contact us, send message, request time, see menu. I think ones that are most
Shop now.
relevant are
Shop now. Very, very interesting in real estate, because you could be talking about a specific list of properties and then get it. Yeah.
You want to test learn more for now?
Yeah. No, I was just saying I thought that was an interesting objective to play with. Yeah.
And then for those of you who are using tracking pixels, I have a pixel that I put onto my page. So when every time someone clicks it, now I'm creating an audience. I'm sure that you'll have another learning module on that, so I won't go into that. So now that's pretty much it. I'm going to click place order, and this will just take probably a few minutes to populate. It's currently being reviewed. And while we're waiting for that, Ryan, I'll click over to an existing campaign that actually used Messenger and show people what that looked like.
I think if you clicked continue, you could show people how the interaction works.
Okay.
Because it's a little abstract. I understand it, but I just want people to be able to see the ad live, and then you'll click on it, and you can see how it behaves for somebody. If you click, see where it says see post under objective up in the top right? Yeah, that should allow you to test the ad, I believe.
Okay. So now when I click learn more,
and see,
it looks like now the auto response is going to go back in Messenger.
Right, and it's down there on the bottom too, talking to you.
Oh yeah.
So
now, go ahead.
Yeah, so yeah, go ahead and type it. So it's a little counterintuitive, but you're getting results with this. I didn't have great results, but I only tested it very minorly, so I'm very curious to see what kind of results you're getting. I was worried that this was too hard for people to do. But
I think here's my response. If you don't have a very, very targeted group of people or an event, if you're having an event or a special register for some VIP event or something, then there's really not a lot of reason to use this. But I can think of reason. Let's say, for instance, if you're working with a mortgage broker, and the mortgage broker is going to have a first-time buyer seminar, that might be somewhere where you can engage and have a conversation.
Or get the free
But
ticket.
get something free. If you're giving away something free and they have to click how to get the free thing, then I think it works better.
And I think that was my mistake. I was offering maybe a list of foreclosures or something generic that wasn't. They probably clicked and were like, "Where's my list?" They weren't willing to struggle through to get the thing. Yeah.
Right. So now I'm over on the page where we were, and I'm going to see if I can go into messages. So now over here on the left-hand column are going to be messages that have come in. And I'll give you an example. Here is, she's like, hey, where is this located? And then I was able to tell her and then send a link. That message that conversation didn't go very far but now that I've got it, I can go back and follow up again with her. Here's an example.
Because you have her full name, you have her profile on Facebook.
And not only that, I know because of where I targeted this ad that they're probably coming from within a very small demographic area. So I put that last name into the county auditor's record, and now within a few seconds, I know where they live, and I see how long they've lived at the property. So we can very, very quickly do some research on them. So, I mean, here's an example. We're at 3:30 in the afternoon. Karen tells me where she lives, has a question about one of my patio home communities, and you can see the conversation goes back and forth. And obviously, we're heading into Christmas, so I don't, based on my conversation with her, I don't think she wants to do something now, but I'm going to put her in because one of the other things I do is kind of I call it the golden, you don't give away all the information on Messenger. You say, hey, I've got a PDF I want to send you. What's the best email that I can send it to? Because I can't send it on Facebook. It's too big or something like that. Right. So then, now I got her contact information, put her in my contact manager, and then I can start a drip campaign off of Facebook. So the whole key is to get as much information as you can, and you can kind of see, I'll show you where I did. She wanted some information.
But the bottom line is you never left the office and you're talking to people about real estate.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
And what's this costing you? So to get that interaction, is it, I know it's going to vary, but for that campaign, what's expected?
It might actually be $5 a conversation. And that some people would say, hey, that's kind of high, I don't really want, but you know what? If I have one this particular, let's look at the map. This woman lives in a house that's probably between $400,000 and $500,000, and we're having a conversation about a new build that's between $400,000 and $500,000. So for the sake of argument, let's say it's between $800,000 and $1 million client value. I'm going to pay $5 for that all day long.
Right, and if you get 100 of them and only one converts, you're very happy. You're at $500, and you have a 1% conversion.
Absolutely. I ran some campaigns last month, and I was only spending $10 a day. I ended up getting about 100 legitimate leads for the month, and 3 of them are converting in the same type of price range that we talked about. So 100 leads is going to generate probably $3 million worth of business in the next 12 months.
So
you can't complain about that.
Yeah. So you can run a whole practice off this one strategy if you wanted to.
Well, yes, and that brings us to something that we can cover in the future. Right now, I'm only testing static images. This is the image that I was doing. Right. I think that if I did a 30-second video with me talking, well, that actually starts the first part of the conversation. So now when they click send me a message, they know who they're talking to.
Yeah.
So that may be even a better engagement in the future.
Yeah, if the video is scripted and you're like, hey, send me a message for part B or whatever it is, yeah, you leave them with a cliffhanger.
So I'm going to go over and show you the, if you want to look at the campaign for this. Here is the campaign, the Messenger campaign. I ran it. I frankly, I got kind of lazy and I turned it off a couple of days ago because, with my wife giving me the laundry list for Christmas, I'm like, okay, I'm going to take a break for a couple of days.
Yeah.
But I'll click into this real quick. You can see I was getting clicks for about 62 cents for a click, but that didn't always equate to a real conversation because somebody said, oh, never mind, I don't want, I got clicks, but they didn't necessarily want to converse with me. So, I mean, look, that's 90.
They don't tell you the chat. Do they tell you how many chats it results in, or they have no way of kind of gauging that?
I'm going to go over to engagement and
this is a pretty beta feature as we record this, so it's probably something they're working on where they'll be able to tell you how many chats you had. And it'd be great if they told you how many chats with 2 or 3 interactions per campaign. Which campaigns are generating you real dialogue.
So here we can see 72 people clicked on it, and then post reactions is 3. What I'm assuming is that's 3 conversations that I had, and my total budget over that time frame was $11.50. Well, I'm sorry, my total budget on that was $55. So a little bit higher than, but I don't think that's bad because I was testing. I frankly think my image could be improved. Yeah. So play around with the image and I'll get better results.
Wow, Andrew, this is great. I'm going to go play with this right away. I hope people watching are going to go give this a shot. I gave up on it too soon. Like I said, I ran 1 or 2 campaigns, said, oh, this is too expensive. And you know what I was doing? I was missing the chats. You do have to be willing to go in there and chat.
Well, and what I found is, keep in mind, this is not chatting with my personal page. It's chatting with my business page. So the mistake that I had is my phone was set to my personal page, so it didn't really send me notifications. So I needed to leave my phone open to the business page. Otherwise, it might have been 2 hours before I realized that there was a message there.
Okay, so that's a good tip. I think they email you messages if you set notifications at the page level, but it's not. Okay. It's not always reliable. It'll go into like a social folder in Gmail and stuff. So that's a really good tip, guys. Andrew just said, when your ad's live, have the darn page chat open. Yeah.
Right. Exactly.
Cool. Thanks, Andrew. I'm gonna cut this out now. This is a nice, concise thing. If anybody wants to contact you, I'll put your info. Well, you don't want to be bothered, but you guys, you guys can reach out to me, and then I'll get you to Andrew if you have specific questions about this. All right. Thanks, Andrew.
Sure thing.